Manchester United, Arsenal and Manchester City are all interested in signing Joao Neves from Benfica. The young star has a $120 million release clause in his contract. You can also see the current market value of the footballer and information about him on the screen. This defensive midfielder has a rapidly rising market value. There is a serious battle going on for Joao Neves, the 19-year-old front libero of Portuguese team Benfica. English clubs Manchester United, Arsenal and Manchester City are all in the frame for the player. The young star has a €120 million exit clause in his contract. Benfica is not willing to negotiate due to the interest of giant teams. For this reason, the team that manages to pay €120 million and convince the player will be able to recruit him. Joao Neves is eager to continue his career in the Premier League. The countdown clock is ticking towards the opening of the Premier League transfer window on Friday, but at Manchester United, there are more pressing matters to attend to first. As we enter Week 3 of Ineos's season review, a decision on the future of Erik ten Hag is imperative in the next 7 days. There is a refusal to put a time frame on finalizing the evaluation of 2023-24, but providing clarity over the position of a manager is vital heading into the window. It is set to be a busy one at Old Trafford as well. Incomings are guaranteed, but the quantity of business done in Ineos's first window in charge is very much dependent on how much can be raised from outgoings. With Dan Ashworth still tending to his garden, it is technical director Jason Wilcox who will be string puller in chief this summer. For now, there are some more routine decisions to mull over. Talks continue with Johnny Evans and Tom Heaton over potential contract extensions, and the possibility of taking the option to sign Sofiane Amrabat permanently is essentially on hold until Ten Hag's future is resolved. There are a couple of key priorities when it comes to arrivals. At least one new centre-back will be signed, and a striker to replace Anthony Martial and share the burden with Rasmus Højlund is also required. Jarrad Branthwaite is a leading target at centre-back, and the first deadline of the window looms large. Everton could look to sell before June 30th to improve their own PSR position. A valuation of $75 million would put United off, who have PSR concerns of their own to deal with. Bremer and Edmund Tapsoba are alternative targets, and depending on departures, 2 central defenders could be signed. There is also likely to be turnover in midfield, with Casemiro a likely departure, potentially to the Saudi Pro League. A potential replacement who has been linked to United in recent windows is Joao Neves, Benfica's 19-year-old midfielder who is part of Portugal's Euro 2024 squad. He has been linked with several Premier League clubs, and a release clause in excess of $100 million would make a move to United almost impossible this summer. For now, the focus is on departures. Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho will return from loan spell at Borussia Dortmund and Getafe respectively this summer, and permanent exits for both are the ideal solution. The same is true for Donny van de Beek, but finding a buyer might be harder to achieve. Then there are a string of squad players who could be sold. Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Victor Lindelof are among them, although the reality is almost every player in this squad has a price on his head as Ineos seek to raise funds. That includes captain Bruno Fernandes, although United would much rather keep him. Another player that Manchester United wants to transfer is Jarrad Branthwaite. Manchester United have been given the green light to sign Everton defender Jarrad Branthwaite this summer from his teammate. United are keen to complete a transfer for the 21-year-old, but won't be forced into a deal for extortionate money, Men's Sport understands. The Toffees are demanding over £70 million for the services of the Englishman, and are hopeful of completing a deal before the June 30th deadline in order to bank any money towards the 2023-24 profitability and sustainability rules, PSR, figures. Branthwaite not being selected for Gareth Southgate's England Euro 2024 squad makes this more likely, despite the manager's insistence that his players will be able to complete transfer activity during the major competition this summer. He is now free for more open talks with United as they press on towards a possible deal. Having only just completed his first full season in the top flight at Everton, Branthwaite has a huge value attached to him. However, former United captain and Everton fullback Ashley Young has already explained that his teammate is good enough to succeed. When asked on TalkSport if a move to Old Trafford would be too much for Branthwaite, Young said, "I wouldn't say so, no." He continued, "Not at all. I think he's ready for the step up. Obviously, there's interest from other clubs that are finishing in the top half of the table. Rightly so, because I know what kind of player he is, where he can get to. I can see him, if it's not with us at Everton, taking us further, then with a team that's maybe offering him Champions League football. He's definitely a player that can go and play in the Champions League and play in the big tournaments. At the time, Branthwaite had just been included in the most recent England squad ahead of the Euros, included in the provisional 33 players selected by Southgate. I'm over the moon for him because I know what he's brought to our team, not just on pitch but off the pitch as well, said Young. He's been fantastic as a youngster that is literally playing above his years. He's confident. He's so comfortable playing football, and I'm delighted for him that he's been included in the squad. Young even went as far as to suggest that the Carlisle-born defender could be in the mix to start in Germany. I'd say if you were going to ask me the team, he could start for me. He can. He should. I'd be confident enough to say, start him. If he's going to be called upon, then he would fit straight in there. He doesn't take any prisoners, he can play football, he can tackle, he can head it, and he can come up with a goal as well. He's got all the attributes to be a fantastic centre-half for many years. Unfortunately for Branthwaite, he did not make the cut, with Brighton's Lewis Dunk instead preferred at the back. Whilst it is a personal blow for the youngster, it may well help United in their attempts to land him this summer. Manchester United could look to Borussia Dortmund for their next boss, with reports in Germany claiming Edin Terzic is a potential replacement, should the club move on from Erik ten Hag. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe is looking to sell Ineos's shares in French club Nice, amid expectations the two clubs will be given a one-season transition by UEFA to compete in the Europa League. Former Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in talks over a sensational return to the Premier League, with promoted side Leicester City. Manchester United minority owner Ineos are looking to sell Nice amid expectations that the two clubs will be given a one-season transition by UEFA to compete in the Europa League this season, according to The Independent. The report claims Ineos chief Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to focus on United, having achieved a lifetime ambition by becoming involved with his boyhood club, with moves now at an early stage for the sale of the French club. Ineos, who bought Nice in 2019, are currently facing their first complications from such multi-ownership, with both ManU and the League One side having qualified for next season's Europa League. UEFA rules provide strict guidelines on clubs being owned by the same ownership structure, with no two partnered teams allowed to play each other in the same competition. But the report claims the temporary fix expected for next season is that Nice are placed in a blind trust, which is what was used last season to get around Red Bird Capital's ownership of AC Milan and Toulouse. That is seen as just a one-season measure, though, with UEFA set to warn that rules will be much more stringent in 2025-2026. Manchester United boss Erik ten Hag is still on holiday and remains in the dark about his future as the club's end-of-season review enters the final stages. Manchester United's review, which includes a decision on whether to keep ten Hag as manager, is still ongoing. As far as ten Hag is concerned, he is the Manchester United manager with a year left on his contract. But the longer the review goes on, the more potentially concerning it becomes for the Dutchman, who led the Red Devils to FA Cup glory last month. A decision on the 54-year-old's future could come in the next week as Sir Jim Ratcliffe's Ineos team near the final stages of the process. Manchester United are expected to make a decision on Erik ten Hag's future this week, according to The Guardian. Ineos have been conducting an end-of-season review, which includes the manager's position, leaving ten Hag in limbo. Reports ahead of the FA Cup final claimed ten Hag would be sacked regardless of the outcome. Beating Man City in the final at Wembley put a pause on talk about ten Hag, but his future is expected to be resolved soon. Manchester United remain in discussions with Johnny Evans and Tom Heaton over potential new contracts. Omari Forson has formally been offered a new deal, while Anthony Martial, Raphael Varane, and Brandon Williams will depart the club. Discussions remain open with Academy product Shola Shortire over a potential new contract, while Charlie McNeil, Marcus Lawrence, and Key Plumlee will depart. Tom Huddlestone's time as U21's player coach has come to an end. Manchester United midfielder Casemiro has joined the board of directors at Marbella after becoming a stakeholder in the Spanish fourth-tier club. Marbella have announced the 32-year-old Brazilian's incorporation into the club's shareholding structure on social media. The club said, "The enthusiasm and commitment that Casemiro shows with the Marbella project is evident with his incorporation into the club's shareholding structure. The confirmation of Casemiro as a new member of the board of directors is an historic opportunity for the club to continue projecting its institutional and sporting strategy in elite football." Casemiro added, "It is an honor for me to join Marbella because my greatest motivation is the spectacular growth possibilities of the club. Without a doubt, together we will dream big to take Marbella to the top, but now we have to enjoy our wonderful promotion." Casemiro's future at United is uncertain following a disappointing season at Old Trafford and, after missing the recent FA Cup win against Manchester City due to injury, he has been linked with a move to the Saudi Pro League,